Hello everyone, this is MEENU AGRAWAL. So after your this macrosporogenesis, the topic that we are going to start is pollination. So all of us know that pollination is what? Transfer is the transfer of pollen grains. It is what? It is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. Okay. Now this pollination is of three types: autogamy, geitonogamy, and xenogamy and allogamy. Okay, now what happens in case of your autogamy? Let's see. Autogamy means self-fertilization. That is what is happening in this same plant. Same plant is there, same flower is there. Okay, and the pollination is taking place. In geitonogamy, what is happening? It is the same plant, but sorry, it's same. It's the same plant, but different flower. Right? On that same plant. And xenogamy, what is happening? It is different plants, totally different plants, so different flowers will be there. Okay, so what do you see that in case of autogamy and geitonogamy, they are what? Genetically identical. They are what? Same, or you can use the word identical. And in case of xenogamy and allogamy, they are what? They are genetically different. Genetically different. Okay, now if we look at what favors, now what is favoring your self fertilization, so what features are there? What features favor self fertilization? So let's look at that. The first feature is your bisexual flowers. Your flowers are what? Bisexual. That is, they are having both male and female parts in it. Okay. And secondly, they are homogamy. What is homogamy? That is, the maturation time of both pollen and your stigma is same. Okay. So your female part, your egg is also formed at that time, and your pollens are also mature at that time. That is called as what? Homogamy. Now the third part is your bud pollination. Or now in that bud form only the pollination is taking place, and we know about a flower. We will come to that. Okay, what are the different type of flowers? And the third and the fourth is your arrangement of your this anthers and stigma, arrangement of your male and female parts, that is very important. Suppose I have got suppose the stigma is here. Okay, ovary. Now the anthers are here, so the anther won't be able to pollinate. So this arrangement is such that it is favoring the pollination. Okay, now you have heard about two kind of flower which is given in your NCERT. That is your what? Your clistogamous flowers. Okay, clistogamous flowers are there, which are always closed. They are closed. One of the best example is your viola. They never open. And another is chasmo gamous flowers. They are open. Okay, and well exposed anthers and your stigma they have. Okay, so it is clistogamous flowers. Now it is what? Mainly found in self-fertilized plant, because they never open. So how will they get pollen from outside? So it's mostly self-fertilized flower. Now let's look at now कि what are the advantages and disadvantages of your this self fertilization. So what are the advantages of self fertilization? The first thing is that it gives a pure line breed. Pure line breed, I hope you understand that the same characters will be forming again and again. That is called as pure line breed. Okay. And the second is your that they ensure now sure seed formation. Okay. They ensure seed production. Okay. And plants need not produce here the plants need not produce large number of seeds. Okay. Plants need not produce large number of seeds. Okay, plants may not produce that, and harmful and useless characters are eliminated. Okay. Okay, this is the advantage of your self fertilization. And what are the, let's look at the disadvantages. Let's look at the disadvantages of self fertilization. Okay, first, just very quickly, you can say that it doesn't lead to variation. Okay. Now here variability and now adaptability to changing environment is less. So here variability and adaptability to changing environment is less because there is no variant produced. Is less. They are more susceptible to diseases. And fourth thing is that they lose this capacity of fertilization. Okay, so they become less fertile. Okay, that is what we call is they lose their hybrid vigor. Okay, they lose the there is reduction in vigor and vitality. The correct term that you can use is reduction in vigor and vitality. Okay, so this is what we see in them. This is the disadvantages of self fertilization. Okay, so we will come to this also, that is your cross fertilization. So let's move on and look at the different types of pollinating agents. So coming to this different type of pollinating agents, as you can look here, that these are the different pollinating agents. So this is a wind pollinated, this is a water pollinated, wind pollinated. These are your what? These are your abiotic. They are abiotic agents. And these are the biotic agents, as you can see here. Your insects are there, butterflies, wasps, moths, all these, they comes under this category. Birds like hummingbird and sunbird, bats, reptiles, ginkgo, garden lizard, mammals like lemurs and arboreal rodents, they are acting as pollinating agents. So now let's look at the water pollination, where is your, they are also the water pollinated example is your hydrilla. Okay, This is your hydrola, Vallisneria, zostra. If you look at these flowers, what do you find by looking at them? By looking at them, you find that their anthers are what? Are unwettable. Okay, due to mucilaginous covering on them, and even on stigma is what you find. Or you can say the pistil part is what? It is unwettable. Okay, and long and sticky, thick. And so this is what there is there about them. And if you look at the wind pollinated here, now flowers, if you look at petal sepals, all they are quite reduced in them. Here anthers have what? Anthers are light weighted, and they are having wings on them, so for easy, and they are produced in huge number. They are produced huge number. The number is quite high because they have to move from one place to another. Okay, so they are produced in huge number. And if you look at the pistil part, it is quite your style is exposed. So pistil is exposed here. Exposed is there, they are exposed. Okay, and they are large and feathery. They are large and feathery. Okay, now with biotic agents, you know that with biotic agents, what is happening with biotic agents, that they are no these flowers are brightly colored, as you know. And they are what? They are brightly colored, and they also give nectar as a reward to the insects. Okay, and they also gives them space for laying eggs. Okay, in some insects you will find that they lay eggs also. And if you look at their features, their anther is what? Anther is sticky, heavy, and therefore it sticks to their insects, you know? And if you look at the pistil part is also what? It is inserted. Here the stigma and style, this is quite inserted. The pistil is inserted here. Therefore insects have to move deep into it. Okay, so it is inserted, and it is what? It is sticky. So therefore the pollen stick to it, which is there on their furs. Okay, so they have completed your agents of pollination. Now moving to cross pollination. Now coming to our cross pollination, this is your cross pollination, and they are called as cross pollination. And these are your outbreeding devices like in self fertilization. We saw how what are the features which is helping in self fertilization. Similarly, these are your that were inbreeding devices. These are outbreeding devices. So first is your dichogamy, where the maturation time is different. You can see here that the maturation time of your anther and your the pollen grain and your egg is different, so they won't be able to fertilize. Okay, now if you look at this, there is a heterostedy, means the position of anther and your stigma is different. So it's such that they cannot pollinate. Okay, now like suppose I show you by diagram also. Look, this it is their anthers are like here, so they are not able to pollinate. Okay, they won't be able to do that. And now presence of unisexual flowers is another character. You have seen papaya, date palm, they are having only one kind of flowers, no? Whether male or female, and therefore in certain papaya plant you don't find that they are having the fruit. Why? Because the male plants. Okay, and now if you come to self incompatibility is what? It's a feature where the self pollen grains are not promoted to fertilize the egg. Okay, so same pollen pollen won't be able to grow. won't be able to grow on stigma, and this is genetically determined factor. It is genetically determined. Remember that there is a group of genes which we call as S locus, okay, and they are linked genes, and they are responsible for your the self incompatibility. Okay, now there is another feature of outbreeding devices, hercogamy. In this hercogamy, what is happening? You can see here, in case of your hercogamy, there is a presence of a natural or a physical barrier between androecium and gynoecium. Therefore, they cannot self-fertilize. So now there is another term which is given in your book, that is your pollen-pistil interaction. Now let's try to understand what is pollen-pistil interaction. In this pollen pistil interaction, what do we see? In case of your pollen pistil interaction, we see that it's a period from your deposition of anther till reaching the egg, till fertilizing the egg. So that period is called as that, from deposition till fertilization, that period is pollen pistil interaction. Why? Because once suppose this is the female part, okay, and here is your egg. Okay, now your pollen grains, when fall on it, how do a pollen knows that the egg is here? So there is a constant dialogue, chemical dialogue going between them, and even the self incompatibility factor operates here. If the pollen is of the same type as the egg is having the gene, they don't allow the pollen to grow. The first thing that takes place is recognition of the pollen, whether it is of the same type or a different type. If it is of the, so the next thing will be promotion. They will promote if it is of different type, or it will inhibit. It will inhibit if it is of a different type. Okay, so how come this your pollen knows, how come your pollen knows that here is the egg and it has to come and fertilize it here? How does it know? So there is a constant dialogue going on between your pollen and your entire pistil, your stigma, style, and your egg. This interaction constantly goes on, and which directs the pollen tube towards male gamete towards the egg, and this is called as pollen pistil interaction. And once it reaches, it will fertilize. So I told you, if it is of the same type, then it won't, that means self incompatibility factor operates and it doesn't allow the pollen tube to grow. Okay, so this is about your pollination. In the next video I will talk about your megasporogenesis. With this I will say goodbye and God bless you.